The News 4 Rundown starts now.
It's Tuesday, May 5th. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following for you tonight. Coming up, 2 years after they lost their son in a motorcycle crash, a local family is working to keep other riders alive on the road. Plus, from blank spaces to fully furnished homes, we're taking you inside the warehouse, an organization that's making home makeovers in the D.C. region come true. Then 55 years of dedication to education, the well-deserved celebration for a local teacher who's helped mold the generations of students. But we begin tonight with the latest development in a story News 4 was first to report almost a year ago. Allegations of D.C. police officials manipulating crime stats. Well, now the department confirms 13 high-ranking officials are facing discipline from MPD's internal investigation. News 4 reported on some of those disciplined officers yesterday. This evening, D.C. police held a news conference to update the public on the record. News 4's Mauricio Casillas joins us live with the latest on what this means for the department. Mauricio?
Well, Sean, I think one of the biggest takeaways is we still don't have a clear picture as to how long this alleged manipulation of crime statistics had been going on for, and we also don't have a general scope of how widespread this problem had been going on for. The interim chief who spoke today did not reveal any of the names of those 13 MPD members who had received those termination papers, and frankly, he said he couldn't comment on the internal review. So tonight there are still so many more questions than answers. Now, the interim chief, he was asked about his reaction to the report's findings, and again, he wouldn't comment directly on that, but he did say he trusts crime statistics and that the training policies that he's implemented are there to make sure that officers are properly classifying crimes. Now, sources tell News 4 the list of those placed on administrative leave includes 4 high-level officials, three of whom worked very closely with former Chief Pamela Smith, including her second-in-command and at least one assistant chief who oversaw patrol in half of D.C. The interim chief was asked about why the public should continue to trust these crime statistics and whether he was shocked about the findings of this report. Here's what he had to say.
When we look into the investigation, we can't really get into the specifics of it. One of my priorities is making sure that we have information that's reliable, that we can use for deployment strategies. Our primary goal is to fight crime across the District of Columbia, and that's what we want to focus on. We use crime statistics every day to help us with deployment across the city. I do have confidence in those numbers.
So before today's news conference, the head of the D.C. Police Union, Greg Pemberton, released a statement that reads in part, quote, "Justice is being served. The command staff officials responsible for this betrayal must be held accountable, not just for the sake of the thousands of dedicated MPD officers they undermined, but for the residents of the District of Columbia who deserve honest leadership and real public safety," end quote. Now, we were told that this internal review would not be revealed to the public, which the interim chief says is consistent when it comes to personnel issues. Those 13 MPD members do have a right to appeal this decision, and also worth noting that the House Oversight Committee has demanded the findings of this internal review. We're told they haven't received it just yet. Reporting live outside DC Police Headquarters, Mauricio Casillas, News 4.
All right, still more to go here. Mauricio, thank you. Also developing tonight, the D.C. Council voted to approve a long-term youth curfew measure, but it may not take effect for several weeks or even months, depending on how quickly Congress signs off. Council members also chose not to take up the emergency curfew today. That means as we head into the summer break, the mayor and police chief's authority to set temporary youth curfew zones will expire in 10 days. News 4's Amy Cho has been tracking the debate all day and has a look at why these curfew measures have sparked so much controversy.
Yeah, Sean, the D.C. Council have been going back and forth over youth curfew zones for months now. While they agreed to extend that authority in the long term, they just could not seem to agree on whether it was a good idea to do it right away. Now, this comes after we have been seeing so-called teen takeovers throughout the district, where large groups of young people have been gathering at night in busy neighborhoods like Navy Yard or U Street. Oftentimes, these takeovers are advertised on social media. Last month, D.C. police say they arrested 8 young people in one weekend, some of them for fighting and one for brandishing a knife. It is part of why the D.C. Council has approved a number of temporary measures in the past to give the mayor and police chief the authority to declare a temporary youth curfew zone. That is a zone where young people are not allowed to gather after 8 p.m. in groups of 9 or more. Several D.C. council members have said they feel the curfew zones are needed to keep people safe. But we also talked to some folks who protested the curfew zones today because they feel it criminalizes young people.
This is a limited authority that should absolutely be extended. To me, it's kind of like saying if there's a riot, we should enable and empower our own local police department to be able to respond. Why on earth we wouldn't want to do that in these instances is not something I can understand.
Criminalizing young people is sending a very clear message that they don't matter to us as a society, and that's just not the reality. If you don't invest in young people now, you're not going to set them up in a way to succeed in the future.
A lot of youth don't feel safe at home or safe in the city, and so they organize with their friends, and they may go out and quote unquote do bad things, but that's not a reason to criminalize them. That's a reason to help them.
Now, under the permanent legislation that just passed within the last hour, the city must offer some sort of youth activity in the same area where the curfew zone is being put in place. There would be limits on how much police can interact with the young people before the curfew starts. The bill would also push back the citywide youth curfew from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. on summer weekends, and it would refer to young people as youths instead of juveniles because of what the bill describes as negative historical connotations around the word juvenile. Now, some context here. Violating the curfew is not a criminal offense, so D.C. police would not arrest a young person for that alone. They would have to also be committing a crime like assault or theft in order to be arrested. According to D.C. police, their policy is to ask young people violating the curfew to move along. If they refuse, then police may detain them and either try to get their parents to come pick them up or to give them a ride home. Sean?
Amy Cho with the latest for us tonight. Amy, thank you. All right, here are some of the other stories we're following for you tonight. Police identified the Texas man who opened fire on the National Mall yesterday afternoon. His name is Michael Marks. Secret Service officers shot and wounded him after they say he opened fire on the officers. Now, we're still working to learn more about why police think he was in the district and why he allegedly fired at those officers. A federal grand jury indicted the suspected gunman in the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. Cole Allen faces several charges, including attempting to assassinate the president, transporting a firearm with intent to commit a felony, discharging a firearm in a crime of violence, and assault on an officer of the United States. Allen will be arraigned on those new charges next week. At least 3 different women were assaulted along a popular trail in Virginia over the last 7 months. The most recent attack was this past Friday night along the Fredericksburg Canal Path Trail. According to police, a man assaulted a woman after she left a nearby shopping center. Fredericksburg police are increasing patrols in that area to catch the suspect and also to help people feel safe when they're on that trail. Today, the Prince George's County Council passed legislation to create steeper penalties for drivers and spectators at so-called street takeovers. The punishments under this new law include fines from $1,000 up to $2,000 or $3,000 for repeat offenders. Violators could also be subject to jail time. It's been nearly 2 years now since Darnell Floyd Jr. was killed in a tragic motorcycle crash. He was on his bike when he crashed with an SUV near the intersection of Landover Road and Cheverly Avenue. His family has now turned their pain into purpose by creating the D-Torch Foundation. News 4's Dominique Moody caught up with Mr. Floyd's parents, now working to get the word out about motorcycle safety.
Some days are manageable for the Floyd family. Others can be difficult when thinking about the missing piece in their hearts.
He was my baby D. He showed up for everything. There's nothing that I do or don't do where I'm not thinking about him.
That void is Darnell Floyd Jr., known in the motorcycle community as Torch. Torch's life took an unfortunate and fatal turn September 10, 2024, when his motorcycle collided with a SUV in Cheverly, Maryland, leaving his wife, Christina, and his mom and dad heartbroken.
He just was always there, and so there's a place that's missing at our table, at our events, from our heart, always.
He was the perfect son, loved sports, loved movies, loved music, so I just missed the camaraderie.
With the grief still lingering, Floyd's parents dried their tears and opened their hearts, just like what their son did through service, creating the D-Torch Foundation, traveling through the state of Maryland, speaking about motorcycle safety awareness.
We want people to know that they have to share the roads.
Be safe as you can, try to make it home.
The other important message from the Floyd family is all about mental health awareness, because many riders, they suffer in silence after losing another fellow rider.
You know, they see their people go, they lose a lot. They lose a lot of people in the motorcycle community. Making sure people can come and get the information they need so that they don't have to suffer in silence. They're not alone.
In Prince George's County, Dominique Moody, News 4.
The foundation is preparing to host its scholarship fundraiser gala May 16th at the Eloquent Touch Ballroom. The scholarship will support children of fallen riders and also expand motorcycle safety and family support programs. Well, the News 4 Rundown will be right back. Here's a look at what we have coming up.
This is an Olympic gold medal from the 1984 LA Games, and she is an Olympic gold medalist. I'm Tommy McFly. We're in a Prince William County school where Benita Fitzgerald Mosley's family has deep history. And we're going to learn about her current mission to make sport safe for everyone. On the way on News 4.
And yes, it was a beautiful day today. Yeah, 80s across the area. Actually, we hit a high temperature of 86, but look what's coming tomorrow. Say goodbye to the 80s, say hello to the rain and the cooler numbers. We'll talk about how long it wants to stick around. See you back here in just a minute.
I'm Adam Tuss out on the airfield at Dulles International Airport. You know, it's gotten very busy at this airport. Woo! That never gets old. Record growth here with passengers last year. Coming up next after the break, I'm going to tell you about plans to change this airport. That's coming up next.
I think we can say we're pretty fortunate to have 3 major airports to pick from around here. But one of them is about to roll out some major changes to handle the tens of thousands of passengers who pass through. Dulles International Airport has some big improvements coming this year. News 4 transportation reporter Adam Tuss went behind the scenes at the airport to get us the details.
Ah, yes, Dulles International Airport. It has gotten very busy. Take a look right here. That never gets old as the United plane takes off. You know, last year was the busiest year on record for Dulles, and there are big plans to change this airport.
Over and over and over again, the planes keep taking off and landing at Dulles with lots of passengers on board.
In the past year, the airport has grown by 6% in passengers. We had over 29 million passengers travel through Dulles last year.
And now this airport has to change to accommodate everybody. The most visible upgrade that'll happen soon at the airport, a new 435,000 square foot concourse known as Concourse E. It'll open in the fall and service United Airlines. A huge plus is that it'll connect directly to the existing Aero train at the airport, which means less time on those mobile lounges or people movers in many cases. But hey, maybe you like the mobile lounges.
We are in the middle of a revitalization of the mobile lounges right now.
That's right, 2 of them being fully renovated, and you should be able to check those out this year. The plan is then to renovate more of the people movers and mobile lounges. A 5th runway, part of the long-term master plan here, that would run parallel to Route 50 and sit west of Chantilly. No timetable, though, for when that'll open. And, of course, all of this is happening with the backdrop of President Trump's comments about the airport earlier this year.
We're also going to rebuild Dulles Airport because it's not a good airport. It should be a great airport, and it's not a good airport at all. It's a terrible airport.
Renderings have been submitted to make dramatic changes to this space, from the main entrance to the terminals and gates. Sources with direct knowledge of these plans tell News 4 they expect an announcement on moving forward with some of these ideas in the coming months. With the crowds and the planes at Dulles, Adam Tuss, News 4.
Airport leaders are also crediting Metro's Silver Line expansion to Dulles for helping fuel growth at the airport for passengers and for airport employees. All right, so I hope you guys loved today because things are changing for tomorrow. 80, what we get, 86 today?
86.
Nice.
And I know a lot of people out there were loving that nice warm weather, but yeah, you're right. What's coming tomorrow is a little bit different. We're talking about rain coming our way. We're talking about cooler numbers moving our way, too. Out there right now, it is a gorgeous night. Sunset tonight, 8 05. How about that? Sunset continues to get later and later. 82 degrees, the current number. And look at the winds, still gusting to near 30 miles an hour. We actually saw a lot of wind today. Winds were gusting between 30 and 35 throughout much of the afternoon. Still gusty right now. 80 degrees in Martinsburg, 80 Manassas, 81 in Culpeper, 74 in Annapolis, and right now Gaithersburg coming in at 80 degrees. Nothing on the radar picture currently. We're not going to see any rain tonight. That's not when it's coming, but it's coming overnight into early tomorrow. And this is the storm system back here and towards areas around St. Louis and around Cincinnati. A lot of moisture that's just going to work its way in across our area. And then we're going to see some of the colder air that works its way in here as well. Now, tomorrow won't be all that bad temperature-wise. Here's the numbers. Early tomorrow, we start off with the rain. Temperatures in the low 60s. Everybody getting rain in the morning. That means your morning rush is going to be kind of tough. A little bit of a slowdown there, getting on the bus, getting the kids to school could be a little bit of a tough issue here. As we move on through, say, 1 o'clock, we're moving that out, the rain out, but we still have some rain around the area. It's not everywhere, but we have it around the region, and temperatures are starting to go back towards the low 70s, and I think many of us get into the upper 60s to low 70s, so still on the milder side. Tomorrow evening, this is 6 o'clock, could even see a rumble of thunder or two coming on as the system works its way on through the area. That system, that cold front, brings in colder air. Look at the numbers for Thursday now. Upper 40s to the north, around 51 for the city. That's at 7 a.m. But watch even during the afternoon. More scattered showers through the day. It's not 100% wet all day, so we'll see a couple of scattered showers throughout the afternoon. But temperatures that may only get into the 50s all day long. We have a hard time reaching 60 degrees. I'm going 62, but that may be optimistic. 69, though, on Friday after the rainy, cool weather out there Wednesday, Thursday. Friday looking okay. Saturday, not much in the way of rainfall, but we do have a chance for some showers early. Mother's Day, a chance of rain later in the afternoon. So that's something we'll be tracking for you. But notice those temperatures on the mild side for Mother's Day with a high of 78.
Thank you, Doug. All right, from homeless to living in a home that is fully furnished with all your wants and needs covered. That's the gift a local nonprofit organization is working to provide dozens of families in our community. News 4's Erica Gonzalez takes us behind the scenes as designers and volunteers come together for a unique makeover to transform 50 homes for families in need.
A Wider Circle is taking on its biggest challenge yet, transforming 50 empty spaces into fully furnished homes in just one day.
This is our third year of Home Reimagine. We went from 10 homes in 2024 to 35 last year, and we are going big this year. We're doing 50 homes across the greater Washington, D.C. area.
Laura Gagritza is with the Wider Circle Home Reimagined and says the organization has been working hard behind the scenes for weeks with a team of designers volunteering their time and meeting with families to fine-tune their wish list and personalize each room.
We walk into a lot of very empty spaces. Typically we see air mattresses, maybe some camping chairs. A lot of tubs not only store their things, but they sit on them or use them as a table. And yeah, the designers meet them there. They talk about not only what furniture they need, but yeah, favorite color, what kind of art do you like? We not only get to see 50 homes redone on May 7th, they're all individual and they're all personalized for the clients.
For many, this is their first real home after homelessness or hardship.
The biggest thing that our clients get is a bed and a dining room table and a couch, right? Kids are not going to be sleeping on the floor anymore. That senior gets to come home to a comfortable bedroom and go to sleep that night, and a family gets to gather around a dinner table for the first time to have a meal together. So there's a lot of logistics that go into it, but the biggest thing is that we're making sure that families have a comfortable, safe home to come home to.
While all of the furniture is donated, some of it gently used, what is absolutely brand new are all of the mattresses, all of the pillows that go into every home, every room are brand new. There's even an Amazon wish list, so if you'd like to contribute, that's something that you can do also. Mark Wiesner is with Bizzuto, helping sponsor the event and bringing in 100 skilled volunteers for the big day.
Going in and doing the things that we can as contractors, having that ability that maybe not everybody else has. You come in and you make what we believe are small changes, and you see the impact on their faces. People crying, seeing how much this new home, belongs to them. I think that was the most impactful for me, and I think that's what our teams get out of it.
One day, real change right here at home.
All right, the big reveal is this Thursday, May 7th, and there is still time to donate. If you'd like to help out, you can visit awidercircle.org for more information. They're a wonderful organization doing so much for people in our community. All right, stay right there. The News 4 Rundown will be right back after this break. After more than 50 years shaping young minds, a beloved educator at Greencastle Elementary School in Silver Spring, Maryland, received a big surprise today. This morning, Ms. Estelle Moore was honored during a special assembly to celebrate her impact on generations of students. The National Education Association presented her with a $5,000 to use in her classroom. Her students and colleagues told us she brings joy and passion to the classroom every single day.
God is great, and it is not just a privilege. It's an honor to be a teacher. I've always, since the age of 4, people would say, Estelle, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said a teacher, and they'd say, oh, that's so sweet, knowing I was just a kid. If you ask me today, what do I want to be? I still want to be a teacher. That's the greatest position that I know for me.
She is the exact kind of teacher I wanted, exact kind of teacher our kids today need. How amazing, and congratulations. By the way, this is Teacher Appreciation Week. For the next few days, the National Education Association is honoring teachers just like Ms. Moore, who go above and beyond in the classroom. Well, there isn't always a set path for Olympic champions once they step off the podium. But as News 4's Tommy McFly reports, one Team USA gold medalist is using her competitive spirit to create a more safe sporting environment for athletes nationwide.
I became with your mom and just letting get named after the school.
So when I won my gold medal, the Prince William County decided to name a street after me.
We're here at Fannie W. Fitzgerald Elementary School. Behind me, that's my mom.
Mrs. Fitzgerald, Fannie Fitzgerald, helped to integrate. So segregation is like this. She helped to integrate the school so that all the black kids and white kids could go to school together, because it's so much more fun that way, right? Mom was one of the courageous people to integrate and put us all together. Those kids seem to really understand that and appreciate that.
History runs in Benita Fitzgerald Mosley's family.
That was field day.
Yeah.
And I was doing the broad jump, and a teacher came up to me and says, Benita, you run like a gazelle.
During the LA Olympics in 1984, she became the first black woman to win gold in the 100-meter hurdles. Her sister Kim, also known as Miss Lennon, and niece Antoinette teach at the elementary school named after her mom.
I just admired her. I always have and still do, on and off the track.
This is the gold medal they put around my neck.
An 8-time national champion. After Benita stepped off the podium, she's led international organizations in athletics and nonprofits, now serving as CEO of the U.S. Center for Safe Sport.
If someone hasn't heard of the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, how would you describe what you do?
We're able to investigate and sanction or ban really bad actors, people who do bad things in the Olympic and Paralympic movement. We put athlete safety and well-being at the center.
What's the best way for someone who's just hearing about the U.S. Center for Safe Sport to get involved with what you do?
One is to use the centralized disciplinary database, and the second is to take advantage of the plethora of education materials that we have. If we could have parks and recs across the country doing safe sport training, for us, that would be the gold standard.
And at Safe Sport, where Benita just celebrated 100 days as CEO, they released today their summer safety checklist. This is a place you can go to on their website to learn more about questions parents and guardians should ask before kids get into summer sports to help mitigate abuse and keep them safe. I'm Tommy McFly, News 4.
Thank you, Tommy. And thank you for joining us for the News 4 Rundown. Coming up next, NBA playoff action. It is Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers. It should be a good game. Then after the game, Jim and I will have the very latest on today's news and weather on News 4 at 11. We hope to see you then. Until then, have a great evening, everybody.